Hi there, this is Lacey from Smith Hollow Farmstead, and you're about to take a virtual tour of our farm. I shot this video the day after our farmer's open house on May 13th, and so this video is taken on a Sunday morning, and it's a little wibbly wobbly because I'm walking with the camera, so I did my best to edit this video down to under 10 minutes. So here we go. We've started at our house, and now you're seeing our rolled rye patch. We started this cover crop last fall. It grew with a nice stand of rye, and then we recently just rolled it, and we plan to plant our pumpkins in this patch, and this mat of rye will act as a weed suppressant. And now you see our greenhouse. We just walked up the driveway up to our greenhouse. And this is a 20-foot by 96-foot greenhouse that we put together this spring. And see, we're going inside, and you can see all of our plants that desperately need to be transplanted. But I'm sure that you probably, if you've been keeping up with us in our farm updates, there's been a lot going on since we are putting everything together and also farming at the same time. So you can see our zinnias and some kale that needs to be transplanted into the actual beds. You can see all of our starts here. There's some basil that needs to be put into the herb bed, our herb garden. You can see all of our little starts there, and then also this black water tank that we obviously built the greenhouse around because it's ginormous, but that will hold water in the spring. Here are tomatoes and cucumbers that have just been planted. Let's see, here's another view as we're walking out of the greenhouse. You can see that water tank, and also all of our starts. We're walking through, and you can see our earthway seeders, which we've used to direct seed, and you'll see that in a bit. It's taken some time to get used to using those, and you'll see what I mean. This shed is something that we're going to convert into our cold storage and a washroom. So you can see inside, half of it is going to be this part with the windows. We're going to have a stainless steel sink that we purchased used, and then this section that you're seeing right now, it will be walled off and insulated. We're gonna turn that into our little storage area. And now we're headed out of the shed, and we're going out into the garden, and see we've got 2 plots that are planted in, and the plots are 75 feet by 80 feet with 20 beds in each plot. The beds are 30 inches by 75 feet. And we've got some row cover, and we've got our lettuce planted underneath the row cover right now. And we're prepping beds to plant. So those will be planted soon with all those meaty transplants that you just saw in the greenhouse. Here I'm lifting up the row cover so that you can see the lettuce. You're gonna see it in just a second. Oh. Lettuce. So pretty underneath the row cover. We've got a few different varieties of lettuce planted in there that you just didn't get to see. We've got some really pretty breen. It's down. And then, of course, here's our sprinkler, because we still don't have, at this point, we don't have our irrigation completely set up. So we're irrigating with a hose. This is our direct seeding. We've got beets and turnips and carrots, and you can kind of see that it's a little sparse in some areas. Here are the peas. It's sparse in some areas because we're still getting used to the earthway seeder. We've used it in years. We've used it before in past years, but on this scale, and we're still getting used to it, I guess. So anyway, here's our silage tarps that we use to kill the grass, the orchard grass, to make our plot. So we've got that laid out for another plot. You can see that it's weighted down, but it was really windy on this day that I filmed this, and that's why I didn't use the audio from that day, because it was very noisy. But here you can see, just stuck the camera out of the fence, and you can see what will become our driveway. It's next to the river, and we'll reclaim. In this shot, then our driveway that we're currently using is just past the greenhouse. So we're going to reclaim the driveway that we have and are currently using. We're going to reclaim that and put in a tree line in order to buffer, to create a buffer from the highway, because there's also, it's not a really busy highway, but it's a highway. And so it's going to buffer from that traffic. And then this line that you can see, that dirt patch that's a line, that was our underground irrigation. And here I just kind of scooted through so you didn't have to watch me walking through the garden. But here I walked across the garden, and here are the Red Rangers, the broiler chickens. And I'm just showing you the ground because we have not moved this pen yet. It's in the morning and we haven't moved it yet, but you can see what they've done to the grass. Chickens, of course, peck and scratch at the grass, and they like to eat bugs, but you can see, what they've done to the grass and why it's so important to move it daily. So now I'm moving from the broiler patch to our chicken coops in our enclosed area, or excuse me, our enclosed yard that's been fenced off. I guess it wouldn't be enclosed, it's fenced. So anyway, we're going into this coop that we just built a couple months ago. Here are a second set of Red Ranger chicks that will move into the broiler pen as soon as those are processed. These are a set of new laying hens. And then I just scooted out and met Bear outside of the coop, and we're walking around. To the right is our chicken coop with established hens, and you'll see them in a minute, but that's the new run. We're still currently fixing that up. So there's a hog panel for a door. So we still don't have a door for that, but here's just kind of a sweeping view of our backyard that's, of course, fenced. See all the little kid toys. We had a birthday party the day before. The garden space to the left is going to be the herb and cut flower garden. Here are our established laying hens, pecking around in the early morning. Chickens are so much fun. There they are. Anyhow, and then we also have 2 pear trees. Here's some fruit on the pear tree. We just planted these. I think it's been a year. So last spring, there's 2 pear trees, and here's a peach tree, and I'm really excited about these. Marcus and I have both always wanted fruit trees, so that's always exciting to kind of see that developing. And then here are our raised beds. You can see we've got a strawberry bed here, and you'll get to see some of the berries that are coming on, but then beyond the strawberry bed is what was planted with raspberries, which is kind of crazy. It kind of looks like a hedge when the camera comes up, but we're gonna relocate our raspberry bed. And you can also see a cute little snow sled that G likes to tug around. Anyway, here are my blueberry bushes. Here's the fruit coming on the blueberry bushes. I've got 3 beds there with blueberries, and they're doing really well. We had to amend the soil to make it more acidic, but they're doing really well. So anyway, I scooted along, I walked along, and we've come to where we've planted 4 different types of potatoes. And here the potatoes are coming up, so that's pretty exciting. Thanks so much for joining me on this virtual farm tour, and until next time, happy farming!